1960 election, Roger. Who really won that? Did JFK really win that?
No, let me put it this way. The Herald Tribune, which was a major newspaper, did a 10-part series documenting the theft of the 1960 election. You can't find that online anywhere. It doesn't exist. I had to dig into a basement in this warehouse in New York to find the microfilm on which it's listed. The 1960 election was stolen in Chicago, but also stolen in Texas. Nixon made a lot of mistakes in that election, but he still came on strong in the final 2 weeks. He had conserved his television money to the end. He finally got Eisenhower up off the bench. Eisenhower did stops in L.A., New York City, and I think it was Philadelphia.
Yep.
Draw enormous crowds. Nixon won that election. It was stolen from
I've heard this before, and my point is going to be the same thing that it was 4 years ago, same thing that it was in the midterms. Just win, baby. Who got to be president?
Well, but let's be very clear.
Who got to be president?
So you're right.
If you don't fix Maricopa County, I don't want to hear about Carrie Lake.
So you're saying what? If they cheat better?
Brother, the job is to win. If the dead vote for Democrat, they can vote for Republican too. Roger, I can't believe I have to say this to you of all people. If you play by their rules that they don't play by, you're not noble, you're a sucker.
You can't go out and break the law to win an election just because they do it. I can't justify that.
You got to win an election.
Let's be very clear. 1960, Nixon gets cheated. Eisenhower tells him you should challenge the election. Tom Dewey, the nominee in 44 and 48 governor, tells him you should challenge the election. Barry Goldwater, Nelson Rockefeller said, Dick, you should challenge the election. They robbed you. Nixon says, no, then I'll be a sore loser. I'll be back. And he was.
And what happened to him, though, it was always in his head.
And he made the greatest single political comeback in American history in 1968, risen from the dead. And then they ran him off again, and guess what?
And then
4 presidents showed up at his funeral and said he was the greatest president of all time. Somewhere between
those two things, something happened.
No, they took him down, but did that end him? Was he finished? Did he just take up? No, he was back on the scene. He was shuttling, and in his 90s, he's going to China and Russia, and then coming back and meeting with the President of the United States saying, here's what's really going on.
Sure, but do you think if he wasn't so convinced that he got cheated out of that first election, he would have tried to cheat the second time?
He didn't cheat the second time, though. He didn't have to.
No, he was going to win, but he did. He did cheat. He got caught.
Talking Watergate?
Yeah.
He didn't authorize Watergate. There's no evidence of that whatsoever. Why would you do that? You're leading in 49 states by double digits. And if you're in politics, you know there's nothing at the Democratic National Committee worth knowing.
What do you think?
You don't think he was worried that it would get stolen?
No, I think that I think John Dean authorized the break-in at the Watergate because he was trying to get the records of his wife's service as a hooker.
What?
Read one of my books, dude. Please read.
Reading's so tough.
Read White House Call Girl by Phil Stanford. It's all there. By the way, John Dean wants to come sue me. Bring it on, brother. Bring it. He sued everybody else who said this, but he won't sue me because he knows he could not stand cross-examination.
So then, if that's the case, why wouldn't Nixon come out and say that?
Because for 19 months, John Dean lied to him. Mr. President, this has no connection to us. Nobody authorized it in the White House. Nobody knew about this. This was this crazy guy, Gordon Liddy. For 19 months, John Dean is misleading him. He doesn't know the truth until it's too late.
And he resigns because of it?
He resigned because they were about to remove him and he didn't have the votes. Well, let's remember, it's not like today when there's an internet. There's 3 networks and there's 2 major newspapers. And if they're against you, what is your platform to launch your counterattack? From where do you get to launch your defense? You don't.